Now to testimony on America's most pressing national security threats. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley again pitched the Pentagon's expanded budget proposal today to Congress. But Tuesday's Senate hearing turned contentious as one Republican senator stonewalled military confirmations and promotions over the Pentagon's new abortion policy. Joe Khalil is live at the Capitol with more on what went on. Good morning, Joe.
Hey, good morning, Mitch. Right now, there is a standoff between the Pentagon and one specific senator, Tommy Tuberville from Alabama. He is single-handedly blocking the promotion of about 160 military officers from going forward. And he's doing so because he objects to the military's new abortion policy. The policy is that they are now going to cover travel costs for anybody who is stationed at a base in a state that has new abortion restrictions and they want to travel out of state. The military will cover it. He doesn't like it. And he had a bit of an exchange here between he and the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin. We're going to play that for you now.
My hold has nothing to do with the Supreme Court's decision to the access of abortion. This is about not forcing the taxpayers of this country to fund abortion. That's been a bipartisan consensus for more than 40 years.
Almost 1 in 5 of our troops are women, and they don't get a chance to choose where they're stationed. So almost 80,000 of our women are stationed in places where they don't have access to non-covered reproductive health care.
So that got a lot of attention. Secretary Austin says that Senator Tuberville blocking those officers moving forward impacts our readiness. Now, all of this came after testimony about these top leaders from the Pentagon and the military asking for that $842 billion budget, making the case that all of our adversaries are now growing in power and that we need that money to make sure that America stays ahead in its military. So they are back on Capitol Hill this morning. We're going to hear about threats from Russia, Iran, terrorism, cyber threats. But we know from previous testimony the real case they're making is about China and their military buildup. The Pentagon saying we need to keep up, make sure the U.S. stays ahead of them. Now, we expect that they may also get some questions today about the military pullout from Afghanistan, as well as the Taliban now posting new images and making new claims that they've actually refurbished hundreds of American military vehicles that were left behind in that chaotic evacuation of our troops from Afghanistan. Guys, they'll definitely get asked about that today.
Well, Joe, this morning, Russia says it stopped sharing data about nuclear resources with the U.S. So how serious of an escalation is that?
Yeah, that's certainly important. And I imagine they're also going to get questions about that as well. It does fit this pattern, Mitch, that Russia has been doing over the last year or so since its war in Ukraine, cutting off ties with the United States in a number of different ways. They've already pulled out of a treaty that was aimed at preventing more nuclear war. They pulled out of that. So this is really just another step along that path of escalation, but certainly noticeable for all of our military leaders today. They will, I imagine, be addressing that sometime later on this morning.